All right, everyone, welcome to the latest edition of Titans of Trenchless. We have Travis Savy from Savy's and Son joining us today. Travis, how you doing, and welcome?
I'm doing great, Mac. Thanks for having me. Travis here with Savy and Sons. Nice to meet all you guys.
Well, it's great to have you. We're really excited to learn a little bit more about your business and, kind of what got you involved in Trenchless overall, and love to kind of hear your story about Savy and Sons.
Absolutely, Mac. You got it. So we're a third generation family company, 3 generations strong in underground or infrastructure since my grandfather in 1970, Ralph Savy Sr., to my father, Ralph Savy Jr., and now my brother Ralph and I have been partnered since 2007. My brother Ralph Savy III and myself have been partnered about 15 years now, and back when my grandfather and my father started this, they specialized mainly in underground wastewater manholes, inverts, and stormwater catch basins. They built them all out of block and brick, your traditional brick and masonry. And my grandfather then got into waterproofing, doing like polyurethane grout injections. So they'd always working in the underground infrastructure space. And Ralph and I were just essentially born and bred right into it. I remember walking out of elementary school underneath the scaffolding that my father was working on the side of the elementary school doing brickwork, and throw my backpack in the truck and then climb up the scaffolding to go help him at the elementary school at the time. And Ralph and I did that when my father passed away in 2007. So it was just my brother Ralph and I at that time, or it was just my brother and my father at that time. And so my father passed away. My brother was kind of doing it by himself. I was in the union as a journeyman lineman apprentice, working nights, and I would come home early in the morning, and then I'd go to work with my brother during the day, and then go back to working nights in the union. I did that for, of course, a year and a half until Ralph and I finally partnered in the company, the family business per se. And we did that for about, a year when we had the economy pull back. And essentially all we did at that time was new construction, underground infrastructure. So when all that stopped, we're like, oh crap, what do we do here? And when we really were forced to get into restoration work because it was either sink or swim, and we were sinking. So getting into the restoration end of it, sewers never sleep. So there's always restoration to be had. We got into that, did that for about 11 years, and just started to grow into the epoxy linings and coatings, media blasting, pipe lining, drain cleaning, infrastructure restoration, the waterproofing, and we've really just been growing it in the niche industry that we specialize in, and those core services ever since. And now we're a small company of about 20 strong, including office staff, and man, it's the best it's ever been. Super thankful and grateful to be partnered with my brother and partner Ralph. I get asked this question all the time, like, oh man, how's that working with family? I'm like, dude, best I could ever dreamed. And they look at me like I got two heads. I'm like, dude, my brother's the man, dude. I couldn't have made up a better partner than my brother. And the company that we have, the people that are here, they're amazing. They're all looking for a better setting. They're looking to do better, to be better, and to be on a winning team. And that's what we provide to everybody in our company. And it's just a great feeling to be part of a winning team with every single person here as we continue to grow.
Absolutely. So, as you mentioned, being part of that third generation of the company, how have you seen it, kind of grow and evolve? And, what are some of the jobs that you guys do now that perhaps weren't done by your father and grandfather that, are kind of exciting jobs, or ones that kind of stand out a bit for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, before it was just the brick and mortar manholes and catch basins and wastewater inverts, and customers like, great, thanks, you guys are the best. I got to get these pipes cameraed, and the pipes pressure tested, and the manholes vacuum tested, and I got to get these manholes rehabbed, whatever that looks like. And we're like, all right, good luck. And we would just leave. And then it was like, dude, there's missed opportunity there. And that's what we started specializing in. And what that leads into is now in the municipal wastewater industry, rehabbing water treatment plants, chlorine contact chambers, abatement facilities and storage, fog tanks, you name it, manholes, vaults underground. And, leads right in. There's pipes coming in and out of these things. So same thing, cleaning the pipes, cammering the pipes, lining the pipes is what it's evolved into, Mac.
Absolutely. So when you start to think about, some of that evolution and the different jobs that you guys have had, are there a few that kind of stand out? Any stories that are kind of noteworthy that get told around the water cooler when you get back to the office, all that kind of good stuff?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, we have quite a few of those because, to compliment my brother, he's a commit first, figure the rest out later type of. It's hey, we just landed this job and I don't know how to do it. We don't have the equipment, but it's going to be a heck of a ride. And so I mean, there's been a couple. I remember the first spray job we did with our new epoxy spray rig. We did it with a great group of guys. The first one we ever did, and I want to say it was like somewhere around like 1,000 gallons of epoxy, and that was like a massive job. And it was the first one we ever did, and we ended up working. It was like Memorial Day weekend or Columbus Day weekend. We ended up working all through the weekend, and dude, we got it done. We had to play around the rain, and that was just like a massive job to be able to do for the first time, and just to again give it back to the crew to work with a team like that is like a no quit attitude, like we're gonna nail this. And it was such a big job for the first one with this new piece of equipment.
That's fantastic. So, when you're kind of thinking about CIPP overall and seeing all the new technology that's coming to the market, what's kind of exciting for you and for your business as you guys continue to evolve and get more, get more different type of jobs, difficult jobs, what's out there that's really helping you guys to make those customers satisfied?
What's out there to help us keep those customers satisfied is the availability to learn the technology of the advancing materials and the equipment with the industry suppliers, Permaliner and Epoxy Tech and Avanti, and the support to the other business owners in the industry. Raymond Gray with A1 Total Service Plumbing, Matt Ward and Rob Ward with Trenchless today, Josh Shelton with Shelton Plumbing. Without these guys sharing information with each other to other quality individuals in the industry, I don't see how these people would succeed without massive failure and trials and tribulations. So honestly, it's just paying it forward to quality people and really valuing, people's self duty to pay it forward and help others.
So when you think about, somebody that, maybe they're a plumbing company today, thinking about trenchless or just starting off in trenchless, what's one or two things that you could tell them that would be a good piece of advice that either, maybe you wish you knew prior, or just that could help them, get forward a little bit faster? Any good advice that you'd want to share out there?
I got some great advice, man. It's really simple. Don't cut corners. It'll come back and bite you in the ass every time.
Yeah.
Use quality products, quality equipment with positions, processes, and procedures to complete the project, because anything other than that, we've never had good luck with it. Don't cut corners, man. Do it all the way. How you do anything is how you do everything. That's what we say.
I like that advice. That's a good one. I'm going to keep that one.
Right on, man.
So when you start to think of the next generation for your group and how you guys continue to evolve, what's kind of next for the business, for you and your brother and your team? Like, where do you kind of see it going when you look down the road a little ways?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mac. And it's an exciting one because I wouldn't want to do this, the way my brother Ralph and I used to do this, which was just the two of them. And we were shoulder to shoulder in a truck every day next to each other for 11 years. And man, those are great times. But I'll tell you what, nothing can replace sharing it with other great people and allowing them to learn the skills and win, and teaching somebody else how to do it. Because let's be realistic, it'd be kind of it'd be kind of foolish to go watch a baseball game or a football game or something like that if you didn't have like a full team per se. And when you're winning with a bunch of people, it's way more fun to win with a team, in my opinion. So to continue to train our field techs and our team leaders and our project managers to be great and be able to do more and impact more people and help more people, because we have a larger team that can make a larger impact.
Absolutely. So that growth is probably very exciting for you guys, and definitely as we get to the tail end of this year and get ready for next. One of the programs that you and I kind of talked about just briefly that I wanted to mention while we're doing Titans together is the ambassador program. And I know that's something that is new. It's exciting. You guys are one of the first, is my understanding. So would you mind expanding on that a little bit to let the audience know about it?
Yeah, absolutely, Mac. I appreciate you asking. So it's something that we've been working with a small group of highly qualified individuals in the industry, with Rob Larson with Permaliner Industries and WRT, Waterline Renewal Technologies. And it's essentially a program, that Rob has pioneered here, and it's by installers for installers. Now, again, going back to my last point, we wouldn't even be a fraction of where we are right now if it wasn't for the installers that helped us. And I will forever be grateful for them to help us, because there's no training that you can get or experience that you can get other than what these guys have given us. So to take that and magnify that, to use it and help other people, is, in my eyes, just irreplaceable, to be able to help people in the industry who have been in it. You're not talking to a salesman over the phone, that might not have that in the field experience and those hardships. You're talking to somebody who's been in it and done what you want to do, and being able to give you that, real life experience and guidance based on their real life experience.
That's fantastic. That sounds like a really, really interesting program. So for the folks that might be interested in learning a little bit more, or even joining up, what's the kind of that process look like? Do they reach out to you and go online, or what's the best way to kind of get in touch with you on that?
Yeah, I mean, they can call our office directly, if they need anything, Savy and Sons, or go online. Office number is 860-500-6929. You can find us on the web, savyandsons.com.
Travis, you mentioned, being the third generation. When you guys started to get involved in, the CIPP world and some of the changes that perhaps your father and grandfather had, and the new different elements of Trenchless, what was that conversation like? How did that go for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. I remember coming into my office, and my brother Ralph is like, "Hey man, come take a look at this. I just met with this guy Jack Manuel with Permaliner at you ever heard of cured in place pipelining?" And he's starts explaining all this. So I'm like, "Yeah, that's where like they put the pipe inside the pipe." And I'm like, "Yeah, I heard that stuff fails." And that was like my mental. That was what I had heard, what I had known it for. And you don't know what you don't know, right? So he proceeds to go over all the stuff, got me on the phone with Jack, blah, blah, blah. We look at all the other lining companies. We decided to partner with Permaliner, the grandfather of pipelining, right? We bought a lateral system, a mainline system. You could say we dived right in head first. We're going to do it. Let's do it. And so we got started. We already had jobs booked before we even bought the equipment. And I remember when we were visiting our grandfather, Ralph Savy Sr., in the convalescent home that he was at the time. And he just passed away last year. And we told him, "Hey, we got into cured in place pipelining, and we're doing all these epoxy linings and coatings." He's like, "Oh, geez, that stuff doesn't work, blah, blah." And, that's what we were born and raised on, not saying he was right or wrong, but it's like, that's what we've been born and bred on. And it's like, sometimes we find ourselves going extremely against the grain on, you got to be sold yourself on something. And that's what we were when I had seen what it could do, and actually in real life demos and stuff. I'm like, this is freaking amazing. And to learn about it and the properties and the specs and all the technicalities. And it's just amazing what you can do with the technology. I'll never forget this one job we did in Wallingford, Connecticut. So there was this lady that called that had a sewer line. It was about a 70-foot clay 6-inch sewer line coming from her house out to the city main. It went right through her yard, pretty easy dig, except there was this big white birch tree in the middle of her yard. She got quoted like 15 grand to dig and replace it. No big deal, right? She calls me, I really need you to come look at this. I found you guys online, yada, yada, yada. We show up and we look at the sewer line. It goes right underneath the tree. And she's like, she's in tears. She's like, I can't lose this tree, this white birch tree my husband and I planted when we moved into this house and we got married 40 years ago. If I kill this tree, my marriage dies.
Oh, wow.
And that's what was most important to her. Our lining cost more than the dig and replace, but it didn't replace the value of that tree that we were able to cut all the roots out of the pipe of, and then install a cured in place pipeliner inside. And you never knew we were there. And it was just one of those things. It was a very simple, small job, but it was just amazing to be able to help somebody like that working on their sewer system with Trenchless technology, you know?
It's amazing. Those are the type of stories that really make this industry stand out. You know, you don't think of that type of impact for a sewer line, like you said, but you know, it meant the world to her. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Travis, with respect to the ambassador program, are you going to be continuing with Savy and Sons, or is it a different company, or what's that look like going forward as you guys are expanding into the program?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like we were talking about before, Mac, it's by installers for installers. So Savy and Sons sister company, American Trenchless Supply, is going to be leading up the trenchless supply and training and education consulting of anything CIPP, epoxy linings and coatings, media blasting, underground infrastructure to be able to house and sell products, equipment, materials, training, consultation. You can find us online, americantrenchlesssupply.com. Email us americantrenchlesssupply@gmail and 860-933-9710. That's where we can get all that, Mac.
Oh, that's great. Well, definitely for our audience, anyone interested in the area by Travis, look them up and learn a little bit more about the brand ambassador program. It sounds very interesting and very exciting.
Yeah, right on. Thank you very much.
So Trenchless overall, like we're seeing a big growth in it. You know, we're getting so many exciting people coming into, you know, nodig.com and you know, wanting to know more about it. You know, what's kind of your take for your geography? Are you seeing it getting bigger and bigger every year, and the jobs are continuing to get bigger, or you know, kind of what's your outlook on the future for Trenchless?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. You know, first of all, kudos to you guys, you know, yourself and Matt Benton, doing this stuff, making it come to life with these amazing images. You know, I got the stuff on the side of my truck that like you guys do, and it's like customers come by and they're like, oh, that's what you're doing. Like they can actually see it, you know? So like the fact that you guys can do that is super awesome to show them. But as far as where it's going, Mac, I mean, what we see is it's becoming more known in the industry. People are becoming more aware of it as a technology, and we're only just using this underground infrastructure more and more, and it's only getting older and older. It needs to be repaired or replaced. And, you know, 85% of the time, the Trenchless technology, cured in place pipelining, is the answer to fix it.
Absolutely. Well, Travis, we really appreciate your time, and thank you for joining us on our most recent Titans of Trenchless. Thank you to the whole Savy and Sons team. We wish you nothing but success going forward. 3 generations strong is something to be really, really proud of. And so we look forward to following you guys and on to hopefully the 4th generation next, right?
Yeah, you got it. You know, we wouldn't be as known as we are in the industry if it wasn't for our great marketing queen, Victoria, on the back end, making us, you know, famous on all these platforms everywhere because she's the one that makes it happen and makes us real for people to be able to see it. And yeah, man, with our great team and continuing to add on to it, making a big dent in this world of helping others, restore their underground infrastructure is super exciting.
Well, I know we certainly enjoy following you guys on social media. So for our audience, if you're not following Savy and Sons, make sure you do. They are a fantastic follow on social. Like you said, Victoria does a really, really wonderful job. So we definitely enjoy all your posts and look forward to seeing future ones down the road as well.
Yeah, man, right on.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Travis, for joining us. And that's our latest edition of Titans of Trenchless.
Awesome. Thanks, Mac. Appreciate it, buddy.